probably wondering what a family constellation is. The phrase family constellation is used to describe the dynamics of your family. So basically, your birth order, the number of siblings you have, the age gaps between each sibling, the gender of your siblings, and so on and so forth. But I'm only going to be talking about your birth order today. Well, obviously, the most important relationship between a family is the one between with the parent and the child. Researchers have concluded that it would be impossible to ignore that the skills we learn from our siblings play a big role in sculpting our personality. And people who have great relationships with their siblings report greater life satisfaction because of the emotional protection they get from their sibling bond. I hope we can all agree that even though the relationship with our siblings is full of frustration and irritation, at the end of the day, we can't help but love them anyway. I personally have two older siblings who are amazing, but I can't say I've never wished I was an only child. I used to think that would be the same as being the firstborn, but apparently not. According to research, the only child is surrounded by adults for most of their life, so they tend to mature faster than other people their age. And they also tend to be overachievers because the only standard they really have is their parents. But they're also more probably spoiled because all their parents' attention is on them all the time. I've never got the chance to feel like an only child, but my brother did. But he was only 2 years old when he became a firstborn, so I don't know how much of it he actually remembers. The firstborns get the love and attention for a while, but that's only until the secondborn comes along. And because of this shift in attention from the parents, they are more likely to become problem children and because they think bad attention is better than none. But over time, they grow and mature and they realize that good attention is better, and this is when they start overachieving and they start trying to be the best at everything they do. But as more children are born, they realize they're going to have to live with less and less attention. So they start taking on responsibilities and they start acting like mini parents to their siblings and giving them advice, which may not be appreciated, but still. My brother, this is very true in my family because my brother is an overachiever. I'm sure some of you know, but his grades were always one gold star away from perfect, and he was always raising the bar for my sister. Speaking of secondborns are able to get away with a lot of things because they hold the title of youngest for a while. And because they see the firstborn as a goal setter, they're always very competitive and they always try to do everything as the firstborn, if not better. And sometimes they win the competition, but sometimes they act as though the competition never really ends. But they start to realize that the chances of them actually truly winning are slim because the firstborn has obviously had more time to develop both mentally and physically. And so they look for other things to excel in order to get their parents' attention. This newfound hope is immediately thrown out the window when they realize they're going to be a middle child. When a third child comes along, they realize they're stuck in between the oldest child, who seems to be the golden child, and the youngest, who gets all the attention for doing the bare minimum. And to them, this is very unfair. And so they may feel like the odd one out of the family, and they feel almost forgotten and ignored. But they end up being the most social out of everybody because of the bond they developed with the firstborn before the third child came along. My sister is very social. And I forgot to ask her if she feels forgotten, so I guess that's a yes. Um, um, she is very social, though. She's very open to talking to new people, and sometimes I feel pressured to be as social as she is. But I guess I just had to be born last. So, lastborns. Um, lastborns are probably the most hated, but also the most loved people in the world. We are most of the time the most spoiled, but we just love to disagree. Lastborns are may sometimes feel inferior because everybody around them is older and therefore superior, but they benefit from being able to learn from their siblings' mistakes and not repeating the same. And they also get the advantage of they also benefit from their parents' more laid back attitude because they're probably less worried about their parenting skills by then. And as the youngest, I don't think I'm that spoiled, but that, of course, if you ask my siblings, they will tell you differently. I already read a survey, but just here in this hall, I would like to know how many firstborns do we actually have? Please raise your hand if you're a firstborn. Oh, wow. I guess firstborn. So this is just in case you didn't know. You don't have to be the best at everything. You know, statistics shows that half U.S. presidents are firstborns, but it would be nice to be vice president sometime. So leave some of the awards and medals to us. That would be nice. Do we have any lastborns? And oh, wait, no, middle children. I'm sorry, forgot about you. You're probably used to that though. So, middle children. Middle children, some of you have like really unique talents that the rest of us don't have because of the birth order. So keep doing your best, and one day somebody will notice you for it. um, Lastborns, last but definitely best. Can you raise your hand if you're lastborn? Um, at some point, I think we're going to have to acknowledge that we are spoiled. But if your older siblings are ever making fun of you, just tell them someone had to be the favorite. Someone had to do it. um, but in conclusion, all of these, even though they're true, are just stereotypes and everybody is different. And you can't put everybody in a box like that. So continue being the best that you can be, regardless of your birth order.